Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Oh, crap, my mic thing ain't showing again. Let me know if you can hear me. Make sure my mic is working. It's currently not showing me if my mic's working. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Angela, thank you again for the lovely reminder of everyone to behave. Can y'all hear me? Hello, Maria. Good to see you. Again, Jade, good to see you. Welcome. Awesome. So you can hear me. Thank you, Jade. Thank you. Hey, Saeed. Glad to see you. Doing good here. It has been a busy but fun weekend. Hopefully you all are having a great weekend as well. We actually took a time. We did a little something special. Nothing too fancy for the weekend, but we had some fun. Wasn't in the office on Friday, and I don't plan on being in the office tomorrow either, but that's going to be all right. TC, welcome. Glad you can make it. So, real quick, do remember if anyone does a super chat of $5 or more, you will be included in any spell working this week for prosperity, well being, general good luck, those kinds of things. Also, we do have a member section of the YouTube channel as well as the Patreon where you can sign up members only stuff, members only live streams, what we try to do, early access to classes. Many of you will see over here, certain people have colored names with stars beside them, or they have access to special emojis. That's also to the members only section. If you'd like to support the channel, do consider that as well. Also, you can go to workingdragonmystic.com, pick up a nice little fancy coffee cup. Coffee, great way to support the channel there too. Which we actually should hopefully have some new items coming to the store, including I've been asked a lot about face circles. Like you all seen the tapestries for the Dragon's Eye seal and stuff, and you asked if I'd used one of those or I use any type of circle when working with the Fae. I do. I have not put it on the store yet. I was thinking about releasing it with the Fae Pathworking if and when we get that done. But we are looking at maybe releasing it early anyway. So we'll see what we can do. So that's just the general reminders there. So let's see. Hey, Lord Dragon, good to see you. Creator. Yes, your membership is showing, Creator. There it is. Jade is a star. Jade is a star. I don't know what we'd do without her. I really don't. Also, if you are interested in the gilded community, pop over there and check that out. Channel members get the first, when it comes to recommendations, channel members and Patreon members, video recommendations from them go first, top priority. Then there's the gilded community, which we've been getting a lot of requests from the gilded community. And then we sort down to other requests, just so y'all know that. So if you want your input into the videos coming, that's a great way to do it on both sides. All right. So this week's video was definitely one of our more popular videos. It blew up, and I was a little surprised. But at the same time, though it was a harder video to record and everything, and it was a serious topic, I have to say that video made me very proud of the viewers of my channel, because not only the responses, the emails, the gilded chat, and the comments under the video, we got an amazing response about needed information, serious topics. Everyone handled it very maturely, very wisely. I know this is going to sound weird coming from me, but I got a lot of people acting like adults on the internet. And outside my channel, that seems to be a weird one that I get on the internet a lot. What is this? Jade, why is it spamming that link? Oh, wait, no, that's different links. Okay, that makes more sense now. Here's the link for the Gilded Community. Here's the link for the online school. Yes, don't forget the online school. A lot of great courses over there already. Dragon Magic 101, Dragon Magic 202. We have a meditation course. We have a tarot course. There's a free, actually, arcane sight course, which actually can work with all the arcane senses. So definitely check that. And we do have more courses coming. Hey, the creator. Hey, just a question. I always felt like when I make stone circles and involve the Fae, that they use it as a portal, but unsure if that's necessary, true, or if they are present. True, I just feel their presence when I make a stone circle. So when you make a stone circle, there's nothing specifically Fae about a stone circle. Stone circles have been used by practitioners for years to create a circle. Actually, it's been also used as a fire pit. So there's nothing specifically Fae and Fae portally there. Now, if you create a stone circle and you call to the Fae will show up. Do they use it as a portal? No. They will come to where you are, but it's not necessarily a portal. That would be a slightly different thing. Though it is technically a container or a conduit and a connection there. But it's a connection, just like a phone line would be a connection, not a doorway, if that makes some kind of weird sense. There, to use the word portal is a very specific thing. That's why I'm having to separate it out there. But it is a good way to get a connection there. But stone circles aren't something that everybody can do also. So that's one of the reasons we're trying to make this one something anyone can access. We're going to do those who've purchased the Dragon's Eye Seal Circle or the Runic Circles know what I'm talking about. It's going to be on one of those large tapestries, well made, high quality. And we will be also doing the beach towel altar cloth, so you can actually get out in nature, go to the beach, get in the woods, spend time with the Fae as well. I've fallen in love with that heavier altar cloth working area style. I've just fallen in love with that. And yes, Jade is on it. She is ahead of me and smarter than me because she's just dropping this stuff down, and I'm thinking it's like, is your phone freaking out? Is your computer freaking? No, Jade knows what's going on. I'm the one that's confused. Thank you, Jade. Thank you. Jade prompts for really. Jade prompts me. That's what it is here. It almost makes me wonder what it'd be like if Jade could actually be in the office daily, paid. What would happen? How much would we get done if Jade was just here, cracking a whip, keeping me focused? It'd be an entirely different process. Who knows? Maybe one day when we hit the big time and we're one of those big fancy YouTube channels that has a paid staff and all that. Maybe then. That'd be pretty freaking cool, wouldn't it? Creator, I saw the Rogue Dragon video. It brought tears to my eyes because kind of had already known about the stuff you discussed in the video, but never had someone else confirm it. Yeah. I know a lot of people was brought to tears with that video. It was not an easy one for me to film. But like I said, you all really took that video very well, which shows that, we should probably look into a bit more deep topics from time to time when we get the chance. And when they come up, I'm not just going to dig them up just to dig them up. But that was one that, like I said in the video, it's been on my mind. I get a lot of questions, and I do feel I was dodging it because, first off, I wasn't sure if I could articulate it well. Wasn't sure how it'd be received. But I finally just bit the bullet, and I was like, you know what? We're going to do it. Let's do it. And I'm sorry I didn't do it sooner, honestly. And yes, if you have any questions about this week's video, please do. I was actually considering starting the coffee hours future going with opening questions to this week's video, so that if you watch the video, you can come in here and ask more detailed questions and whatnot as well. So that was a thought. Let's see. Read this video. The laws of dragons do have that pertain with humans. They did to this week's video. What are some of the laws of dragons that pertain to humans? I'm trying to process the question here. That's a deep one. So, which ones do? For the most part, a good chunk of their laws don't pertain to us directly. Now, when it comes to like their laws of the balance and how they maintain the balance and the way they view the balance, that is a law that it's them, but then it does affect everything else in the multiverse because they kind of have to police that balance. And there are certain ones that practitioners who want to work with dragons do expect them to uphold, like honor, respect, balance, dedication, focus, discipline, a constant pursuit to self mastery and self empowerment. Those kinds of things do directly impact anyone who wants to work with dragons. So, which is why a lot of people don't like dragon magic. They want to come into a form of magic where it's very laid back, very willy nilly. They even want to almost goof off and be silly about it. Dragons, though they can be silly, though they have a sense of humor, they do have a sense of purpose and duty and constant improvement. So that's something that weirdly is a problem to find in people these days. In fact, that's one of the reasons a lot of people said me teaching dragon magic would never take off. They said there's not enough people with enough focus and serious minds left in the world. We're showing them differently, I guess. But as to the exacts, I'd have to pull my journals. And I'll be honest with you, the creator, if I remember right, you're the one that asked this question. Yeah. Nope. Sure. I will have to pull from the journals and check on that. But just so you do know, this is actually another one of the videos that I've been getting a lot of questions about. And I am trying to pull all my notes because weirdly, I don't have everything wrote down on one page for all the different rules that I've picked up over the years from the dragons. And I need to do that. So part of me putting them together is also going to be me putting them into a video, if that makes some sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see, Saeed, I've been researching sigil magic recently. I was wondering if you can write the purpose for a sigil on the back of a sigil of one of the spirits and charge it with intent. Only if you plan to work with the spirit directly, Saeed, because the sigil of the spirit it's like the phone number. So unless you're wanting to work with this spirit, which is more of contact magic as opposed to just standard sigil magic, I would say don't do it that way. Let's see. And we jumped. Let's see. Let's see. It's so sad that rogue dragons, I feel like they had a breakdown or a burnout or threw up their claws, and said, "Bleep this. I hope they feel better." Yeah, it's an oddity. It really is. It's a sad thing. And I don't, like I said in the video, it's like, because I've had bad days. I've been fed up. I've been burned out, but I've never been so burned out I went that far. That seems a bit drama queen, toddler, crybaby BS to me, to be honest with you, if we're going to put it onto that level. I could be a little wrong, but I mean, there's a lot more to that. I know it's definitely a tricky one. Let's see. What is this one? Sorry, people. I'm having a little trouble seeing the screen today. I will do my best here. What the Japanese? to speak. Wait, Drake? Will the dragons give other beings access to speak to you once you go to meditation with them? Do you think they can help you meet your higher aspects? So this is a weird one, center touched oracle. So the higher aspects of the self is still the self. So the dragons aren't going to put you in touch with different variations of yourself. They are going to actually work to seek self mastery and discipline, which actually brings you up into a complete instead of leaving you as fragmented and separated. Um, the dragons are not actually a fond of this fragmented, separated view of ourselves where we put different portions of ourselves on a shelf as opposed to becoming a whole being. So they will put you in touch with those, but only in the context that you work up to being a whole being, if that makes sense. Because we're not actually separated from any part of ourselves outside of the separation that we ourselves create. And part of a magician and especially a dragon magic practitioner is to actually embody and the fullness of yourself. Oh, TC, that's right. Everybody, yes, please hit the like button. It lets YouTube know y'all like the work we do, and it lets YouTube share it with more people. So hit the thumbs up button if you're here. We appreciate it. We got 19 people here in the live stream right now, and 9 thumbs up. So we got 10 people not hitting the thumb button. Jeremy, your question's not making sense. Do I know what good association for air I'm struggling? There's a lot of great associations with air: knowledge, wisdom, motion, travel. So let's see here. Yeah, if you're looking for a representation, a feather's a great one. A yellow candle. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Center Touched Oracle. You are correct there. Just snuffed out. Did you use a feather or a candle? I just snuffed out. Honestly, these days I don't even keep a representation for air around. But it used to be what was it? It used to be a yellow candle or a yellow stone. For me. Violet Star, good to see you again. Welcome, Angela. I tried an un just to see if I could say one, and the entity popped up. Startled me. I apologize that I was just trying to get it. I have an idea. Yeah, like I said, uns aren't required, but I've seen very positive uses with them. I'm still not overly a fan of them. When I do the Goetic videos, which I think we got another one coming out this week, I always include them because everybody loves uns. And Angela, as you found out, they can be quite powerful. But at the same time, it's got to be something that you can flow with. Like my Southern twang makes certain pronunciations difficult, as you also see in those videos. But when I'm doing evocation work and meditation work, trance work, hailing work, any of that, in order to keep my focus on the ritual and what I'm doing, everything needs to flow comfortably for me. So because of that, due to the kind of jankiness in the language of a lot of these uns, they don't flow well for me, and I don't use them. But for other people, people love them. And yeah, I know I have seen some people say entities don't like them, but honestly, every entity I've worked with, so far they've not minded them. Let's see, we're jumping again. We are popular today. Let's see. So the dragons have been reminding me. The dragons have been reminding me. Quit jumping. To be gentler with myself, with my busy schedule, and also helping me learn that little things are still progress. Yes, yes. So when people talk about dedication, constant work, and constant progress, everybody seems to think of climbing Mount frickin' Everest or jumping the Grand Canyon or some other crap. Consistency and constant progress does not have to be jumping the Grand Canyon. If you wake up every day to try and be a better person than you were yesterday, even if it's by a gnat's ass hair, you still progressed. Now, granted, that's not a lot, but do what you can every day. But self care is also part of it. There's a weird mentality in how we spend our time and why we spend our time, which I may do a video on later. I touched on it in an upcoming video I've already filmed, where a lot of y'all have been asking me about the concept and ideal of magic with passive income, so I tried to do a video on that. Hopefully, it came out making sense. We'll see. Um, but yes, small, that don't be hard on yourself. Everybody has busy schedules. We really do. Like, if anyone actually saw my schedule, people wonder how I stay sane. The thing is, I make a point to understand what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, why I spend the time I do, and that makes everything worth it. But if you don't have that long-term goal, like when I was just living for the weekends, like if it was work, weekend, like when my mindset was either I was at work or I had days to myself, that was the most depressing mindset in history. You can't have that mindset. You cannot. You got to change the mindset and understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Um, and that would be a great video topic, actually. So I may look into that small. Definitely, though. Dragons are definitely right on that one. Keep it up. Child, that's awesome. Thank you. It was funny. Mental note. I'm just practicing future maybe say. Yeah, that's happened to me. Like, even with an entity, like for a hailing, right? I'll be writing out my hailings because I do all my own hailings. Um, and once I get it wrote, I'll be saying it right. And I've had entities just pop in and they're like, it's not fully vocation, but the connection's enough that they're just like, that's the one, roll with it. And if that happens, it's like, you know what? We're keeping it. Let's go. I blow into a jar and close. That's a good representation for air. Literally capture air. I don't use zones anymore. I don't. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they don't flow right for me. Can I overwrite the nature of a crystal? Abso-freaking-lutely. So the associations that we apply to crystals are just that. They're associations humans give them. A crystal scientifically does not do any of this mumbo jumbo. It really does not. Sorry. There is a lot of pseudoscience in the crystal community. You all will know I don't talk a lot about crystals and stuff on this channel. And when I do, I speak to their correspondences that most people view them as, not as literal proven things, because they're not. But any crystal is a stone. Its associations will be exactly what you view it as. In fact, what you view it as is going to be the best association for it. Beyond that, a crystal makes a good device for charging with metaphysical energy. And then again, that goes down a whole nother thing, because the way we use energy in metaphysics has nothing to do with the term energy in science. And you got a lot of occult practitioners trying to say science proves magic because of energy. It does not. They're completely separate. And that's a rant for a different day. But yes, you can completely override them. Absolutely. What's your thoughts on Conway's inner rings? Do the dragons require you to do them strictly? They never speak to me about them, but wants to tell me I'm almost done. So yeah, okay, Conway's inner rings. The dragons really don't use them. It's kind of interesting because I worked through her book at one point, but they really don't use them in that manner. Though at the same time, again, Conway's works were filtered and put through a system that could be published at the time based on the occult works, how they were being presented. There was like this mentality that all occult works had to fit into this box, and publishers just wouldn't touch it if it didn't fit in that box. So a lot of her works had to be adjusted. and filtered. And that was something when I spoke with her, she wasn't happy about. And I can get that. I can get that. And that's one of the reasons, like when she encouraged me to publish, but at the same time, she said, if you publish, do yourself a favor out of the gate. Don't change and filter anything. She's like, find a way to go purely with what you're given and instead of making those adjustments. And so I made that determination I was going to do it. And I thought I was going to self-publish a book, but I can't put words on paper worth crap. So luckily we did find the school and YouTube and those kinds of things. But no, by and large, there's a reason I don't really, when it comes to like how to get started in Dragon Magic, I don't recommend Conway's books. I will openly admit that's where I got my start. But I find it hard to recommend her books because so much of the information went through a filter and has double blinds and all kinds of everything else attached to it, that it's more work to sort through and get functional than anything. But no, the inner rings, no, I don't find that the dragons really use them at all. Though I will say this, anyone who's worked through Dragon Magic 101 and 102, if you compare the path working that the dragons laid out there, because that's not my work, that's their work given to me to pass on, you can actually see when you compare it to the inner rings, you can see how things were altered and changed along that progression. It's kind of creepy. So you can actually see it a bit if you know what you're looking for when you've taken 101 and 102. If you own that book, I'd actually recommend to go back and read it because you can see the transition and the path. You can see very clearly that when she was telling me that everything the dragons were telling me is what they told her, you can see it. It's very clearly there. But if you don't have the two to lay beside each other, it's not that easy to see anymore. It's crazy. And I try not to, you all know, I try not to talk ill of her work at all, because if it wasn't for her work, I'd have never found Dragon Magic to begin with. So I'm always going to be grateful and honor her work and her progress. And who knows, my work may be only a stepping stone for the next person out there to build upon. And that is my hope, is that my students go further than I ever will in my life. I may just try making a poem for the entity and see if that works. Honestly, Angela, that's what I would do. I mean, if you look at a hailing rite, it's pretty much a poem. That's pretty much what a hailing rite is. Hey, Pterodor, glad you can make it. Where's progress? See, is it near that normal drink to outgrow certain? Let's see. I've been experiencing that I no longer need to write sigils or symbols. I just feel like growing certain magical. Is it normal to outgrow? Yeah, actually it is. What sigil magic, candle magic, and a lot of these things are what magicians at certain points view as low magic. They're entry level stuff. They can get you a lot of results. They really can. They are powerful and can get good results, but they also have limitations upon them. And there is a certain point where the magician progresses to a point that all these little knickknacks, all these little things become pointless. You can achieve the same results, if not better, without them, but it takes the magician's progression to do it. So it is actually quite normal for a magician to outgrow them. That's one reason, like the one-on-one students I have, they quickly, like, one of the first questions I get from a lot of them is, what tools do I need? What candles do I need? What incense do I need? And I tell them, don't buy a damn thing. Don't go out and buy a damn thing. Because their goal, like if I take on a student one-on-one, I am teaching a magician. I am teaching a true mage. And because of that, I tell them not to buy anything, because we're going to focus on everything that they're wanting to develop, everything that they're wanting to learn. And we are going to do it and we are going to build them up so that those things don't even matter. So I'm not going to give you a grocery list or a shopping list to go buy stuff that in the end isn't going to matter. If during your training as an individual we need a specific item just for you, we'll talk about that then. Otherwise, let's not even worry about it. Like, I haven't bought candles in 4 years, outside scented candles, and actually I haven't bought those recently either. Now that I think about it, yeah. So you get to the point where you just outgrow them, plain and simple. And I would even say it actually benefits the practitioner to not become reliant on them in the beginning. Over the years of teaching, I have found the students that you start with the trinkets and the crutches have a harder time getting off them. Let's see. Are aliens from the Avatar movie real? Jeremy, I've only seen previews of Avatar. I've never watched the first one or the sequel. I think there's only two of them. I've never seen them. I've only seen the previews. And as far as the critters in the previews, I've never seen anything in the multiverse that actually represents those critters. So I'm going to have to say, to the best of my knowledge, no, it's a complete work of fantasy, though it is a beautiful artistic work of fantasy. From the previews, it is freaking beautiful. I will give it that. But I've never actually watched the movie itself beyond that. Everything in the Avatar movie is made designs were done by people who, man, okay, creator, yeah. It's like the beginnings is not working for me. Like, I no longer need them. Yeah, there's a point where you actually progress to the point where what using the knickknacks actually draws your focus away from where you should be, and it actually acts to hold you back. There is a point in your practice where if you don't let go of them, you can't move forward. The only tool I really use in my practice daily is like my staff here. That's it. And that's for a very, very, very specific ritual that I do. For, I'd say 98% of the work I do, I use no tools. Woo! We jumped again. Crap. Let's see. I'm loving the way you teach simplicity. Oh my God, it makes me so happy. Thank you. Happy you. Thank you. Thank you, Violet Star. Thank you. Mugs up to you too. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, there are people who the complication actually does help them, but for most people, it seems to not. Many of you know, absolutely adore the author Asimov Mason. Absolutely adore her works, her insights. Now, she is one of these who uses long form incantations, long form, but she writes them so beautifully. Like, if I was just sitting here to read them, like you'd read Edgar Allan Poe, I love them. They're absolutely beautiful and so artistic. I cannot use them in rituals. They are just too long for me. I can't use them. But that's just a difference in the magician. So I think that it is important that we represent and show that simplicity can do the same thing. And this is opinion. Let me mark that real quick here. This is opinion. But I do think there's a lot of magicians out there that try to add the bits, the baubles, the bells, the whistles, the complications, the proper attire to make themselves look more impressive than they probably are. Give me a magician in t-shirt and jeans any day. Just my 2 cents. Now, that's not to say if you like and you enjoy or have a specific robe or something you like to wear it in rituals, wear it. It's your rituals. Have fun with it. But at the same time, if that robe's a pain in your rear, or you don't got the robe, and somebody told you had to have the robe, bollocks to that. Bullshit. No, you don't need it. Go ahead and do it. Let's see. It is a busy chat, Maria. It is. I'm doing my best to keep up. I am. Oh crap! We jumped again. Ah! Having a day. Oh, hey Drake, have the dragons shown you anything about Excalibur yet? So, okay, that actually it might have been you who asked the question about Excalibur. So, Excalibur was a symbol and an ideal, not a literal. So, the blade, the sword, Excalibur, as we know it, was a symbol and an ideal that was carried by the king slash the people. It was an ideal carried by them all, and the symbol itself was carried by the symbol of the people, which at that time was the king. The ideal and the symbol is what was lost. The symbol and the ideal is what failed. They even equated this actually weirdly, didn't expect this one coming, but they equated this to the ideal of America. Because don't get me wrong, I love the freaking Excalibur legends, but I've never tied them over to the US. Um, but they said the ideal, the symbol, the cause, the reason that united the people, that made it so strong and everything, that was important. Um, And the Dragons did say they debate whether that ideal has been lost or is going to be lost if Americans don't get off their ass. But that's something we won't go into here. But they used the same concept as that ideal, that unifier, that carrying concept, and that symbol, which for us would, of course, been Old Glory, our flag. Um, and I'd never thought of Excalibur in those terms. I actually viewed it as a mythical legend about a king and a hero. And I wasn't sure if the sword ever existed. I knew it didn't exist necessarily in the capacity of the fantasies or the legends, much like the Holy Grail. But it never occurred to me that the sword and the concept was bigger than even the magical item. Because we think of that magical item as this amazing thing, but when you look at the ideal, when you look at the symbolism, when you look at the unity that that ideal brought, the power, the independence, and the freedom to the people, the justly lands, because the king was held to the same laws as the people in the Arthurian myths, um, or legends. I know some people get iffy depending on how you phrase that. Um, that is far more powerful than any fictional version of that sword ever will be. So, yes, I did actually poke and prod on that. And I've got to admit, actually, that's something I'm wanting to dive into deeper now, because asking that question, whether it was you who initially brought that to my attention or not, I'm pretty sure it was you, Temple. That has opened a whole new door of research that I need to spelunk. I'm serious. I'm getting my spelunking gear. I'm getting my camping gear. I have got some serious, serious questions now because of that. And I do actually plan to do videos on that. Probably going to get some kickback on it, because when you start talking about stuff like magic items and artifacts and stuff, and you potentially kick out the ideal that it's not an item, it's an ideal. There are people, whether it be through history buffs or myth buffs or just Illuminati conspiracy theorist kind of people, they're going to throw some kickback. Because there's still people that honestly, truly think Indiana Jones found the Ark and it's in a warehouse somewhere. People, it's a movie. Sorry, hate to break it to you. But yeah, I definitely plan to go deeper down that rabbit hole. Thank you for it. And I hope that answers your question some too, not just opening me to a new research. I love research. I get giddy with research. Can you make a video on doing magic with no tools? Absolutely, Maria. You know what? Hold on. I will add that to the production list right now. I'll also have to check to make sure I didn't do one already. But I don't think I did. We'll add that to the production list right now, because you're right. That is a great idea. So is it still important to? Yes. Okay. So yes. Again, In Dragon Magic 101 and 102, and you do still need that tool. That tool serves a purpose, a very, 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 very important purpose, especially when you get to Dragon Magic 103. Now, that tool serves a purpose in your growth and development. Does that mean that in theory, you may potentially outgrow that tool? Potentially. Here's the kicker. I'm in 104, and with the stuff they're throwing at me in 104, I still need the tool. Okay. So that tool is a very, very specifically built tool, has a very, very specific purpose within Dragon Magic. Outside Dragon Magic, I don't need it. And most of the other traditional tools, they're just representations of energy and elements. They don't do much more. There is a difference there. But yes, you will still need that tool. Let's see. Center Touch Tarot. Drake, what's your favorite moment with the dragons you could share? Best story. Ooh, that's a hard one. That really is. I don't know. I really don't. There's so many great ones. There really is. And whether it be breakthroughs in my life, I mean, drastic changes that were brought about both for me and my wife and family and friends, or just the heartwarming friendship style moments. Like one that stands out right now that I can think of. So I'll go ahead and share it. Since I can't pick one, we'll share the first one that pops in my head. I was hanging with my co-magician in my sanctum. We were just goofing off, doing a few little exercises and whatnot. And my co-mage loves wine. He was drinking a bottle of wine. He said I should try it. So I tried it. It was really freaking good. And for those who haven't developed their ability to taste in their sanctum, work on it. It's kind of neat. But I didn't think anything of it. And it was like 2-3 weeks later, me and the wife was at the liquor store, and we were looking for something. She was looking for something very specific. So we're going up and down aisles we're never in. And one of them was a wine aisle, and she just cut through it. And out of the corner of my eye, I see something. I turn, and I was like, there's no freaking way. And I see the bottle. Not just the bottle. It's the same label, the same year, everything. It's the exact same wine. So my curiosity was piqued. I had to. I grabbed that bottle. We went home. I actually opened it for dinner that night. It tasted exactly the same. It was exactly the same as the wine that my co-magician had given me. So he was able to share wine with me that I'd never had before, that I was able to find in the real world, and it was just as freaking good. And it was one of those moments where, the confirmation came with a reminder of how important that bond of friendship is, and how far that just bond of friendship and that just hanging out and being there with your friend can actually progress you, if that makes sense. Let's see. If I can add my perception, I'll let you know. I will let you know. Temple, I will let you know. Violet Star 103, 104. Already itching for 103 and 104. Those are going to be huge classes. They're going to be rough too. They will. 103 right now, it's looking to be every bit the size of 101 and 102 combined. So yeah, 103 is going to be huge. And the dragons are getting itchy. They're wanting me to start filming that one. So I gotta get the evocation course done. I am still working on that. This 4-day weekend's been nice. And it's either going to be the Norse course or 103 that I begin to film after a short break. We'll just have to see which one comes up. That was super awesome. That was a name could have become the official job title. Damn, I haven't even done Dragon Magic 101 yet, and there's already a 104. Yeah. The path workings I'm publishing is quite literally the crap they've put me through. I myself am actually working in 104. I've had one student ask, do I believe if there's anything past 104? And to this day, I can only answer, I can't imagine what it would be. Because the crap they're throwing at me in 104 is just like, what? That is some of the most intense, high-end ritual work I have ever done, and it still taxes me to the max. So if there is anything past 104, I have no way to comprehend at this time what it may be. But yeah, keep your eyes out. We plan to get those coming. Creator, if you haven't got started, pop over to the online school and get signed up for 101. Seriously. Each of those courses is 6 to 12 months, depending. So they can take some time to do. I'm eager to start Conway's book, which is the best one to start with. All right. So we earlier discussed why I have issues with the books, which Conway had the same issues. But if I had to pick one to start with, it's almost like they were written backwards. So I would actually say start with Mystical Dragon Magic, because it actually gives you a start with it gives you a starting point. It gives you some bases. It gives you some basic training, gives you some tips, gives you some initiation ceremonies. It gives you kind of a mini path working with the inner ring concept. That's where I would go. Though, Eve, I would almost say, because you could actually get more for your money in Dragon Magic 101. Dragon Magic 101 is only $30. Usually Conway's book is 20 to 25. And if you took all three Conway's books, there's going to be more in 101, weirdly enough. And definitely more in 101 and 102 actually have more crammed in than all three for sure. And even then, 102 is just it is still 30. So if we go with the 25, that'd be 25, 50, $75 compared to 60. Yeah, so still cheaper. If money's an issue, that would be something to consider. Price comparison, give or take. But if you already have the book in your home, or you find it at a flea market, or something like that, then yeah. So, or if you just dead set on following that book, I would definitely recommend Mystical Dragon Magic. The path working and everything makes more sense. Dancing with Dragons doesn't really. It is a hard book to follow, even for people who's done it. It is just, yeah. It's not beginner friendly. It's really not. So I would start there, definitely. And the third one, her third one is like, it's a follow-up to Mystical, but at the same time, it's what Dancing with Dragons should have been. So yeah. And like only the first half of the book is interesting. The second half gets weird. And I wished I had been able to ask her about that second half. Sadly, we lost her and she passed away before then. Though I haven't actually, I could, you know what? I could do a ritual speak with her. Maybe I could do that. I'll look into that. But yeah, that's my 2 cents for what they're worth. Is the Norse course the only one? I look forward to that a lot. The only one. What do you mean? Is it the only one? Is it like the only Norse course that I plan to do? At this point in time, I don't know if the Norse course is going to be 1 course or 2. Right now, where I'm compiling the notes for the course to hopefully start filming, The amount of information going into it might have to be split into 2 courses. But at the same time, there's certain sections where they overlap so much that it's like, due to the overlap, would it need to be 2 courses? So those are still decisions I'm making, if that's what you're asking. Violet Star. Eve, I love all your Dragon Magic videos. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully I will be doing more Dragon Magic videos because, yeah, I've been very, very busy. I've been trying to get a lot more content out. You all know this channel's, we try to cover various things, not just Dragon Magic. I think we are on YouTube for a year before we ever did a Dragon Magic video, weirdly. But there's definitely, yes, we need to do more Dragon Magic videos. We really do, because that is definitely a spot where you all keep telling me there's just not info. And yet I should probably buckle down and do more of them. So I will try to get more out. Drake, if you can, please teach us how to invite other beings into our astral sanctum. I just want to bring my ancient ancestors in there safely. Oh, that's actually, once you're in your astral sanctum, you can literally call out to your ancestors if you want. One of the things that I actually have in my sanctum, Touched Oracle, is I actually have like a little ancestral shrine structure out on the beach. And I will go there and I will do ancestor work. Now, if I'm doing general ancestor work, I just keep it general. If I'm doing specific work, let's say with my old mentor, I will call directly to him. Old friends and family, I will call to them specifically and spend the time with them there. If you call to them, you are inviting them in and they can enter. If that makes sense, because you are the master of your domain. This is your plane. You are its god. Yes, I said that. You are its god. And we are going to make light of that comment, because though it's true, we don't want to get this whole high and mighty attitude about ourselves either. All right, we don't want to take ourselves too serious, right? But you are the god of your realm, so you invite your ancestors in. They'll come on in, and it will be safe to do so. Does that make sense? I hope so. Honestly, they were awesome courses, but I'd take Drake's course over Conway's books. If you want to get down to the nitty gritty, totally worth it. Oh, well, ooh, I'm going to blush. Center Touched Oracle, thank you very much for the huge shout out. Looks up to you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Also, anyone who has taken Dragon Magic 101 or 102, if you would like to email me at workingdragonmystic.com a review of the course and your opinion, just like Touched Oracle did, let me know. I will take that and I will get it uploaded to the school so that people can actually see your opinion. Also, weirdly, that has a little icon for images. So if you have an image that you would like me to use, include that. Otherwise, it'll just be blank, just so you know. I don't know why they make me upload it. They should just let you all do it. I'm lazy. Well, Star Dragon 101 and 102 are packed. They really are super great for press. Oh, well, there's another one about Star. Oh, crap. See? Yeah, definitely email me the stuff, guys, so I can get it on there. You guys are going to make me blush here. We jumped. I have Conway's book. I didn't like it. I don't think I'll ever be able to draw the dragon pentacle, but I want to use it. Does opening the book to the page suffice? Yeah, you could. You could definitely use it. Weirdly, the dragon pentacle in her books, she uses it once and then never again. So if you can draw a 5-point star, it would do the same thing. But yeah, you could just open to the book. That would be fine. That would be fine. I use a lot of images and stuff straight from books when I'm using path workings and stuff. The only things I ever actually put physical is stuff that I know I'm going to use over and over and over and over and over for a really long time. Like Dragon's Eye seals, the reason I use those is I do work with Dragon Magic. I like to have it around, but it's also a really great place to sit something if it's hot, like incense, burning. That way I'm not burning whatever I'm working on. So if I'm going to have a tile, I kind of like a bit of decoration, so I usually use that. But yeah, straight from the book is perfectly fine. Let's see. Are there other Norse courses in the school? In the school right this moment? I don't think so. At this moment, I do not think so. I don't think we actually have a Norse course in the school yet. There's been discussion of whether or not we want to do a rune course or include runes with the Norse course. I think I'm going to end up doing both, and here's my thoughts on that. And actually, since I got y'all's ears here, let me just chew them off a little bit and see what y'all think. So if I do a strictly runes course, it allows me to deep dive into the runes, the mythology, the different thoughts, the different philosophies. I could do that in a single rune course, right? In the Norse course, you're covering such a massive amount of Norse magic that I don't know if I could do as deeply or detailed in the Norse course. So, though the runes would be included in the Norse course, it wouldn't be as deep of a dive. So, I'm kind of thinking I might do both. Many of you know how we did the tarot course. It's not as big as a massive full path working, even though I did design it in a path working like manner, so it makes sense. The ability to deep dive into the runes more for a rune course, and then just general practical rune magic education in the Norse course made sense to me. But then there's part of me, it's like, you're double charging, you jackass. And I'm fighting with myself on that thought process, because one, I honestly think the runes could do on their own, but at the same time, you can't leave them out of a Norse course. So go ahead, just on your keyboard, vote, hit 2 if you think doing both courses is the better way to go. Just hit 2 and just okay? Just let me know. Because I have to put runes in the Norse course, period. But is a separate course makes sense also. I love it all. Listen to your intuition. Well, my intuition is going to both. Heck yes. Deep runes. Let's dig runes. Okay. Well, you guys definitely seem doing both. Putting runes in both of them is the way to go. Cool. Heck yeah, deep runes. Do they petition magicians basically to work on certain creations? Let's see. Drake, my guides have told me to make certain things to create a business. I try not to force them into this magic business, but there's always dragons asking to help me. Do you think they could want that? They could want to help you. I'm by no means a rich man. I have worked very hard for what I have in life. I will say this, though, since I've become a magician and you've been using magic in my career to help my career, things have been better. So it's something to consider. I would listen to them, because when I started listening to them, my life changed drastically in ways that I didn't even foresee. If you would have told me 10, 15 years ago, heck, if you told me 8 years ago, 6 years ago, that I'd be teaching online with a school and be, what are they called? Influence creators here on YouTube, I wouldn't have believed you. And yeah, here I am. So pretty crazy. Rune course, separate them to. Okay. Now, when I say separate them, the runes will still be in the Norse course. It's just going to be, the basics. Because anyone who's worked with runes even shortly knows that you can just. That's a rabbit hole you can go down. So, yeah. I spent a lot of time working with angelic energies. My question is, can I petition dragons for their help like with angels and saints, or would that be? No, you can do it. I do it all freaking time. I do. X Boone Well. Okay, there's a lot of people here in this chat right now. X Boone Well has become a favorite because I don't know if you noticed, economy sucks, money's rough. X Boone Well is all about prosperity and money. So a lot of people are petitioning X Boone Well to help with jobs, money, all kinds of things. And he is constantly cranking out massive, massive results. I'm not going to give details, but if I'm not mistaken, Maria there actually got X Boone Well's help on a major issue that just really got her life a kicking. So as has Jade in the past, I know that. Thanks for throwing clocks at me, Jade. Love you. So glad to have you. Things like that. So yeah, you can definitely petition them if you want. X-Men Well's a great one. We have a few dragons that's already posted here on the channel. Of course, the rulers. They can be a little trickier to petition, but you can still petition them. So yeah, definitely give that a check out. And something disappeared. Oh well. Can someone benefit from the rune system? Yep, absolutely. Rune magic is honestly open to anyone, even if they don't follow a Norse path. A lot of people don't like to hear this, but the runes are an alphabet. That's what they originally were. Historically, archaeologically speaking, they're an alphabet. A good chunk of Norse practice as we know it is recreation based on handed down oral lore and stuff like that pieced together. So we don't know, we don't have any hard writings of how it was done. So yes, that is doable. If you are interested when the rune course comes out, that's another reason, like I considered separating them actually. Moonflower, thank you. That's a great question there. Is because someone may want to work with the runes, but may not want to do full Norse practice. That was actually another reason I was looking at separating them. So yes, answer would be yes. All right. What have you ever done at... Is that Saint work? Yes, I've done Saint work. Yes. Oh my God, clocks came so fast. Yeah, they did, right? They really did. We're going to get ready to wrap up here. Everyone, this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I know it's a holiday weekend. Try and stay safe as you can out there. Have a great week. Continue your progress. Continue that self-mastery. Continue that self-empowerment. And remember, if the best you can do is try to do better tomorrow than you did today, that is still progress. All right? Chins up. We got this. Times get tough, but we get tougher, don't we? Keep on smiling, keep on laughing, keep having a great time. And I will see you all next week. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.